Hey, what's up? It's Bill of the Universe, and I want to take a little bit of time to talk about Madonna's chart. I've had a lot of questions regarding her birth time, stuff like that. I did her birth chart reading last Friday, and I got a lot of pushback, to be honest. One thing I've learned, don't when it comes to gay icons, don't fuck with the gays. Like, girl, I did not even know. These gays came for me. They came for me, okay? And that's fine. I mean, I love it. I love the interactions. One person was not nice, but whatever. We'll move past it. So I wanted to kind of do a little bit of explaining. One, the biggest pushback I got was her birth time. Now, a lot of people are going to say she's a Leo ascendant or a Virgo ascendant. This is Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology, no shade to Western tropical astrology, but Vedic astrology is based off of where the constellations and stars actually are, accurately. And it's not tropical astrology, because tropical astrology is about where the planets and where the stars were 2,000 years ago in the time of Aristotle. They have not accounted for precession of the equinoxes. Vedic astrology does for the last 4,000 years, okay? The ancient Indian people, and when I say Indian, I mean Eastern Asian, the Indians, the Vedas, the Vedics. They're an incredible civilization, a very, very intelligent civilization. They've known about the precession of the equinoxes for thousands of years. Because of that, they have kept up with the precession of the equinoxes, thus always maintaining the accurate positions of the stars. This is why I like to do Vedic. This is part of why I like to do Vedic astrology. Okay, that's one thing. That's why it's actually a 23-degree difference. So if Madonna was born August 16th, this would make her a late degree of Leo in Vedic astrology. So that she should be something like anywhere from 25 to 30 degrees Leo. But in Vedic astrology, you go back 23 degrees. So then now she's very early degree Leo, because each sign has 30 degrees. So instead of like 28, 29 degrees Leo, now she's straight up 0 degrees Leo. Okay? So almost a Cancer. That's one thing to consider. Second thing, people are telling me that she was born at 7:03 a.m. because they're looking at astrotheme.com. Yes, I have looked at astrotheme.com. I take what I do very seriously. And I not just I triple check all of my birth information facts, because I'm not going to do an hour-long video. And it takes me about an hour and a half to really go through, I would say an hour and a half to 2 hours to really generate and analyze someone's chart, plus the actual making of the video. So that's a lot of labor. I'm not going to do all that labor on the wrong chart. You know what I mean? I'm not going to waste all my time like that. So when you go to astrotheme.com, you'll see that her birth time was, I think, like 7:03 a.m. Look at the grade they give that time. The grade that they gave it was double D. That means it's a very, very, very low accuracy. It means that this is what they heard that she's born, the time she was born, but they don't actually really know. It's like normal grading system. The higher the grade, the more accurate. So if someone has an A score on their birth time, that means someone actually was able to look up the public files and look up the public fucking birth certificates. And they were able to look up the actual time. Madonna does not have that. She has a D average. She has a double D, actually. No pun intended. But she has a double D birth time rating. That means that it's not for sure. Not only are they not for sure, but they kind of almost doubt it. Okay, so if you think that she was born at 7:03 a.m., she probably wasn't. Okay, so if you've thought that, I understand, but you got to face the facts. It's a double D rating. Okay, now here's the other thing. There's a video of Madonna in the early 90s talking about being an Aquarius rising. If you're a fan of Madonna like I am, you know that she's a mystical person. Okay? You know that she is into astrology for all of her life. She's a mystical person. She's open to that stuff. This is why part of why she's so intelligent, because truly intelligent minds are always going to be open-minded. Okay? If someone tells you that God isn't real and astrology is bullshit and it's all about logic, that's actually not intelligence because it's very closed-minded. How can you be intelligent when you're keeping your mind closed? You see what I'm saying? Madonna is a genius. So it's no surprise that this genius woman is open to metaphysics. Anyway, if she is an Aquarius rising, and someone said they were like, oh, well, I know she said she was an Aquarius rising. I saw that video too. I just thought she was wrong. First of all, that's kind of arrogant. Why would you think that Madonna is wrong about her own birth time? Let's say you know what time you were born. How would you feel if some stranger who doesn't know you at all came along and said, you know what, I think you're wrong. Like, what, bitch? I know what time I was born. if if anyone knows when Madonna was born, guess who was going to be? Madonna's in 1993. And all you need to know to know your birth time all you need to do is access your birth certificate, your long form birth certificate. I think Madonna knows how to do that. I think she has the resources to go get her long form birth certificate and know what time she was born. Sorry, I'm ranting. But it's just the reason why I'm a little bit, kind of tugged and pulled at that is because someone came on my profile and was just like completely, being like, you're wrong, this and that. She's born at 7:03. I'm like, bro, look at the time, look at the grading. It's a D rate grade, okay? That means not even they know when she was born, okay? If she's an Aquarius rising, when you go back 23 degrees, that puts you in Capricorn, okay? It's just how it is, okay? Now, you also have to know, this is why I put her as Capricorn rising, okay? And it makes sense because Capricorn is what? The goat. Capricorn is the executive. When you're a Capricorn rising, that's a cardinal sign. That means all your Kendra houses are also going to be in cardinal signs. Cardinal signs is the most stable signs that you can have. Kendras are the pillars of someone's chart. So all of her pillars are in strong cardinal signs. That makes complete sense because Madonna is Madonna. You're not going to have a normal, who's rich but has really bad Kendras? Jeffrey Epstein. And you can see that play out in his life. Madonna has very strong Kendra houses. And it's because she started her birth chart in Capricorn, the most cardinal sign of all. This also makes Saturn her chart ruler. Saturn is the authority figure. Saturn is also social groups. There is very few people as global as Madonna. Okay, let's take like Mariah Carey. Okay, I've seen both of these women in concert. When I saw Mariah Carey, it was all the same type of demographic. It was black girls and their homeboys, or it was old people like me who remember Mariah back in the day. When I saw Madonna, there were black people, there were Mexicans that didn't speak English, there were white people, there were young people, there were old people, like there were gays, there were straights. Like, this is what 11th house is. This is what Saturn is. Saturn is the masses. So I'm not convinced that she was born at 7:03 a.m. I'm just not. Okay, so that's just me. And if you have, an objection to it, First Amendment, girl, like, I get it. Say your piece. But don't come on my page talking to other commenters about how I'm wrong. Like, that's BS to me. Now, here's the other thing. People were saying that because she has a very, very strong 8th house, that I was saying how money is very a central theme in her life. People are like, well, money is not the central theme for Madonna's life. First of all, you don't know her, so why would you even say that? But second of all, here's the thing. When you have your moon in the 7th house, in the 8th house is the house of death. Moon is the mother, and her moon is in the 8th house. And guess what happened to her mother when she was 5 years old? She died. This is classic moon in the 8th house. Now, a lot of times it can mean your mother's crazy, or you have a weird relationship with your mother, or a distant one, or it can mean that you have a very, actually, ironically, very close, devoted relationship with your mother. And then sometimes it just flat out means that she's dead. And this is what it means in her case. Now, the other thing is, to say that Madonna isn't about the money, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. I'm sorry. First of all, Madonna has said in many interviews that she never in a million years thought that she would be a pop star, a dancer. That was never her goal. Of course, she's an artistic woman. She's a Leo sun. She's a Leo moon. She's Porva Falguni. Porva Falguni is the most sensual, artistic, passionate star. It's all about discipline and it's all about excellence. Okay, and it's also very genius star. She has the soul of an artist. This is very clear in her chart. Okay, but it's in the 8th house of surprise attacks. Okay, Madonna was raped when she was very young. Madonna is subject to attacks. This is what 8th house is. Madonna has a history in her maternal side of having cancer. I wouldn't be surprised. And actually, as famous as Madonna is, she's very private, especially when it comes to things that might make her look vulnerable, like admitting she has cancer, like admitting she was raped. Because when she was young, she never talked about being raped. She didn't talk about that stuff till she was in her 50s and 60s. Okay, so this is a testament to how private she actually is. There's a movie she did in 1980 before she was even famous. She said, I'll do anything for money. This is that moon in 8th house, because moon is emotions, moon is the mind, and it's in the 8th house of finance. She was 20 years old or 22 years old saying, I'll do anything for money. And then 2 years later, she becomes the Madonna that we know today. So I absolutely think that finance is a huge thing, okay, is a huge thing for her. I don't think Madonna's going to get up out of bed if it's under her price line. You know what I mean? That's the kind of bitch Madonna is. And that's a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, going back to surprise attacks, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden Madonna found out she has breast cancer and that she needs a mastectomy, or she has to get a surgery, or just all of a sudden I wouldn't be surprised at all if she found out that she had a breast cancer and that she had to get a surgery and that she kept it secret, because Madonna's a very secret person. Her sun and her moon is in the 8th house of secrecy. Okay, look at the photo I chose. That's not a person who's, look at the photo, look at her eyes. That's a tiger right there. That's someone who's hiding behind the grass, waiting for the prowl. You know what I mean? That is 8th house. Madonna can be goth. That's 8th house. Madonna is very interested in metaphysics. That's 8th house. Madonna is a Kabbalah. She's a Kabbalist. A Kabbalist? That's 8th house, because 8th house is about uncovering the truth. 8th house people are very occultic. And occultic doesn't mean devil worship or anything like that. When something is occulted, that means it's hidden. So when you're an occultist, that means you take hidden knowledge and you bring it to light. This is why money is such a big thing for 8th house people, because that's what 8th house is. Finding the treasure and bringing it back to light. Okay? Now, the other thing is, with my birth timing as a Capricorn ascendant, this puts her Rahu and Jupiter in the 10th house. 10th house of the public display. Now, her Rahu and Jupiter are in Chitra. Chitra is a star in, it's half in Virgo, half in Libra. I think hers is in Libra. That makes sense. First of all, Rahu and Jupiter are there. Both of those planets, both of those energies are very, 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 very creative, and they're very good with style and design and color. The funny quirk about Chitra is that they will overdo it with the embellishments. They won't have just a pair of earrings. They'll have all these bracelets. They'll have 5 necklaces on. They'll have all this stuff. How did Madonna look when she first came out? Y'all remember how Madonna looked when she first came out? Madonna had 10 bracelets on one hand, 10 on one wrist, 10 bracelets on the other. She had 5 necklaces on. She would have earrings all over her ears, piercings all over her ears. She would have a stocking in her hair and tie her hair with a sock. You know what I mean? That is classic Chitra. Okay, that's what Chitra does, especially on the Libra side. They adorn themselves. And of course she got richer and now she wears diamonds instead of socks. you know. But and the fact that it's in the 10th house of public display. So this actually makes her a very good designer. This makes her very good at fashion. And it makes sense because she's a fashion queen. That song Vogue, that first of all, she wrote a song called Vogue. That's the most profitable, most legendary fashion magazine publication in the world. Vogue. That's fashion, boo boo. In that movie, The Devil Wears Prada, that cool montage of Anne Hathaway like wearing all those cool outfits and really feeling herself with her new like fashion self facet of her life. What song were they playing in the background? Vogue. Madonna is very, very, very fashion forward, and it's clear with her Jupiter and Rahu in the 10th house. Rahu is very, very creative. The other thing is Rahu in the 10th house is part of the big three of fame. When you have Rahu in the first house, like Rihanna or Selena, whether you have Rahu in the 10th house, like Julia Roberts or Madonna, or Moon in the 12th house, like Andrew Garfield or Billie Eilish, those placements are very, very, very good for fame. And she has one of those placements. No, go fucking figure. So anyway, that's my little spiel. I feel like kind of weird that I have to even defend it because this kind of is a defensive video. This is like saying, hey, it's not saying like back off, but it's also saying just like, you know, I really care about what I'm saying. I really care about what I'm doing. I don't study Jyotisha because like it's not just because I want clients and just because I want followers and this and that, because I've been doing this for 5 years and then I was studying it privately for 3 years before that. And before that, I was studying tropical astrology for 5 years before that. So this is what you're seeing now in the last couple months of videos, this is 8-9 years in the making. So even if I had no followers, and I've had this conversation with myself, because there was a point in time where I had like 200 videos out and I literally had like 200 followers. And I was really upset and I was like really discouraged. And then I did quit for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I don't have any followers. I'm just going to do it because I love it. And yeah, so I mean, that's why I really do this, is because I love it. I love astrology. I love Jyotisha. I love spirituality. I also have 8th house as my chart ruler because I'm a Scorpio ascendant myself. So, you know, I really, really do love astrology. And if you're listening to this, then thank you for listening. Okay, cool. Bye.